In a judging competition, you must know the rules. First, each class you only have 7 minutes to judge, and a class consists of 4 rabbits. You must find the disqualification on any of the animals unless none of them have the disqualification, and then you place each animal 1 through 4th. The disqualified rabbits will always be 4th place. Now remember, there's never any talking unless you're asked to do judging comments. So the first step in a judging competition is looking over the rabbit for disqualifications. I first flip over the rabbit, check the teeth, check all the nails, and I also check to make sure that none of the nails are discolored. Make sure to pay attention to the dew claw. Then I check the sex of the rabbit. If this is a class of senior does, and I find a buck, then it is a disqualification. I also feel the bellies for any tumors. Then when I flip over the rabbit, I feel it again for any hernias. I feel over the body for any abscesses, blemishes, tumors, anything like that. And then feel the tail. And I look at the ears to make sure the ears are the proper shape and substance. And then I look for any rips and tears. Then next what I do is I pose the rabbit. Since this breed focuses a lot on head and ear, I evaluate the head and ear. So for example, this rabbit has a good head. Actually a fair head. Just a little bit longer in the muzzle, not as prominent in the brow. It's got good width though. I look at her ears. Her ears are just a little bit folded and scissored and have a slight flange to them. But otherwise they're very good. Then I look at the type. For this breed, which is a Britannia Petite, the body is worth the entire head combined. So the body basically carries the equal amount of power as the head does. This rabbit has a good body. She's just a little bit flat right here and very potty and fat. She's also out of condition. She loses a lot in condition. She has a good forelimb. Also watch to make sure your rabbits don't fight. Alright, that's it. During this timed event, we only have 7 minutes to judge each class of 4. During this 7 minutes, we must check for disqualifications and judge and place the rabbits. My placing is 1, 2, 4, 3. Number 1 is first place because she has a good head. She's a little bit thicker in the nose, in the muzzle. She has a very good ear, a good eye, and she has a very good body type. She just lacks a tiny bit in the hindquarters because she's a little bit pinched and weak. She has a very good forequarter, a very good color, and a very good coat of fur. She's just out of condition and loses a few points on condition because she is soft and bony. Second place, Lost on head. Her head's just a little bit too long in shape, her eyes are just a little bit too small, and her ears are carried too far back. They're also folded and thin in substance. I really like this doe's type. She also loses on condition. She has a very good forequarter, very good front limb, and a very good tuck. I like her color, but she is faded over the top line, so she has sort of a chocolatey cast to it. Third place is an easy last. She lacks the uprightness of the two first place does. She has a good type, but she's just a little bit flat. She's thicker in bone, and her front legs are just not very straight. She has a really good head shape. I like it a lot, but it's just a little bit too narrow overall. She has a good eye. It could be bigger. She's folded heavily on her ears. Her ears are both scissored and flanged. They're also very thin, held too far back, and folded. This doe also is faulted on condition. She is potty and bony at the same time, and she's very thick in bone. Fourth place is a disqualification. He is actually a seal marten. We know that he's a seal marten because he carries none of the orange that you would see on an otter. He also shows shading down the sides. He has a very good head. His eye is just good. It's a little bit too small. He has good ears. They're very together and upright. They also have good substance and good shape to them. He has a fair top line. He's just a little bit flatter over the hindquarter. He's thicker in the bone, but has very good leg extension. He's disqualified on color. And I finished that class with 1 minute and 16 seconds to spare. I would place this class 1, 2, 3, 4. No, 3, 4. I would place this rabbit first because she has a very good head, very good eye, very good ear. She has a very good top line, and I really like the extension of her front legs. She also is in very good condition and has a very good coat. This rabbit has a good eye. I'd like to see it bigger. Very good head shape, very good ears, but they're just a little bit sloped backwards. She has good leg extension, but a little bit thicker in bone than the first place animal. She has a very good top line, just slightly longer in body than the first place doe. She really loses on her coat, is coarse and out of condition. Third place has a good body. She's just slightly out of condition and slightly soaked, but otherwise she has a really good turn over that hip, but she is very potty and fat, so she loses a lot on condition. She's got very good leg extension. I really like how straight and strong her ankles are. She's got fair head shape. I'd like to see that brow a little bit more prominent, and her face is just a bit too long. She wins over the fourth place from her ears. Her ears are open, they are together, and they have the proper thickness and substance. She also has a very good coat of fur. An easy fourth doesn't want to pose. She's weak on that front ankle. I don't like the bend right there. She's got a good head, good eye. I'd like to see her head just a little bit wider. She's got a poor ear. It's pinned back, it's closed, it's very thin and folded. She's out of condition and her coat is very rough. When I get her posed, she has a fair body type. She's a bit sloped and she shows that she has practically no neck. Her shoulder is a bit longer. She's an easy fourth place. Next class we're going to be judging is called a sound class. This means that there are no disqualifications for sex, for smut, and for anything else. This class of rabbits will be placed 1, 3, 2, 4. Although first place is faulted on color for having lilac coloration instead of black, he has a good coat of fur. It's just slightly coarse, but it carries a lot of density. He has a very good shoulder. It's very broad and wide and well filled, though it is a little bit low. He has a good midsection. His spring of rib is okay. It's fair. And he has a good hindquarter. It's very well filled all the way down to the table. His top line is also good with a little bit of length in the shoulder and lacking just a little bit of depth. Second place has good color. She's just a little bit faded in the ears. She's stained throughout the coat and lacks just a little bit on density in comparison to the first place animal. She has a very good wide shoulder, but is a little bit lower. She has a very good midsection and a good hindquarter. She could use a little bit more fill in the midsection. She peaks a little bit early, and her shoulder's just slightly long, and she lacks depth. Third place has a fair shoulder. It's a little bit narrow, but it has a very good start. Her midsection is fair. It's a little bit weak and hollow on the last rib, and her hindquarter is fair. It's also a little bit hollow, though it is not pinched and it is not tapered. She has a better top line, although she peaks a little bit early. She has a fair coat of fur, just a bit coarse and longer in the guard hairs. Fourth place loses on fur. She's very open and pitted throughout the whole coat and very coarse, and her guard hairs are too long. She has a good shoulder, just needs to carry a little bit more fullness. She has a poor midsection. She's very hollow behind that last rib, but an excellent hindquarter. She's very well filled all the way to the table. She has a good top line. She just peaks a little bit early, but she has a very good shoulder in that top line. She's also faulted on color because she has definite chocolate coloring rather than the black.